Hello Libra and welcome to your reading. So you may have noticed we're doing something a little different. We're doing frontal facing videos, and I'm not gonna lie, at the beginning of doing this series when I started with Aries, I was feeling very insecure, not gonna lie, but now that I'm to you, I don't know if I'm just channeling your energy or what it is, but I feel very good about it. And so, yeah, that's the first thing we're doing a little differently. And then the other thing we're doing differently is I don't have music playing in the background. It does not matter if I cannot hear it. I keep getting pinged for copyright infringement, so we're just not going to mess with that. And, but I can't totally leave the music alone, so I do have it on my computer next to me if I glance over and a lyric seems to be sticking out or the song resonates. I'll go ahead and mention it still just because, like, I don't know, it's just part of the way I read. And so, with that being said, we're going to get started. So, if you are a Libra, Sun, Moon, or Rising, stick around. This is for you. We are going to do the normal overall read. We're going to do your love, career, and finances. And then we also have the Moon Oracle cards. And we have the answer scenario cards off of the Rebel deck. This was such a happy accident because this was not what I was intending to get with the Rebel deck, but I am so happy that I ended up getting this because it's fun. It's so fun and it's a unique way to figure things out, right? So let's go ahead and get started for you. I feel like you can't see me shuffling really, but you can hear it. So I no longer am bothered by that, and let's just get started. So, Libra, overall, God, you are just such a happy energy for November. Okay, we do have the Death card. That's card number 13, Scorpio energy. What else do we have for you? We have the Knight of Swords in the reverse, and he flew right out. That is Gemini and Taurus energy. I didn't show you the Death card, so I'm going to show you that right now. Very good. He flew right out, so I feel like that's a major message there. And then, what else do we have for you for November? We also have the Eight of Swords, which is more Gemini energy. Okay. So, despite the happy, energetic energy that I am getting off of you, with the Death card here, the Knight of Swords in the reverse, and the Eight of Swords, I am seeing you going through a transformation, but it's a transformation that you don't really know what to do with yet. You're realizing that, okay, so you're Libra, right? And you're an air sign. You're great with your words. You're great at getting what you want with your words. You're very charming. You can tell people what they want to hear. Not saying that you're fake or anything, but you're very good at spinning things in such a way that you're still telling someone what they want to hear, like complimenting them, being pleasant, but you're still being honest. Okay, that's an innate talent that you have, Libra. However, with the Eight of Swords in reverse, there's this feeling here of feeling trapped when you're not really trapped. It's an illusion. Okay, and then with the Knight of Swords in the reverse here, I feel like, I don't know if you've just gotten yourself into some hot water lately with your way with words, if it's bitten you a little bit. I don't know if, yeah, I feel like it's not so much that it's bitten you. I feel like some of you straight up feel like that you've lost your mojo in general. But with the Eight of Swords here, there's a possibility that by the end of November you get it right back. I would, because everyone's chart is so unique, so I would look at what major transits are happening in November to see if there is like just some kind of resistance that's going on in the stars, because we are so affected by what the planets are doing. So it could just be that you're having an off month and you don't know how to deal with it. However, with the Death card here, I don't think it's really a loss of your charm temporarily, as it is that maybe you're reflecting more on how you use that charm, how you use your way with words, and it's giving realizing where you are complacent in your complacent complicit complicit in your own suffering. That's what it's giving. It's you being able to take a step back and realize that sometimes you have had a hand in ways in which things did not go the way you wanted, ways in which people maybe did not treat you fairly, ways in which you attributed to these situations, because to a certain degree, and I say that sparingly because depending on the situation, like if it's a very intense situation, um, sometimes it's completely out of our hands how a person treats us. If it's a very extreme situation, in those cases, it is not your fault how someone treats you. But if it's something like you feel like your partner is being dishonest with you, you're feeling it in your body. Certain things just don't feel right when they try to explain themselves. It itches at your brain, and you have like partial evidence. Like you have things that like you have like 3 out of the 5 pieces of the puzzle. It's enough for you if you truly wanted to leave. It's enough. The trust has been disrupted, right? However, you talk yourself out of your gut feelings. You listen to their crappy explanation because you don't want to believe that they're capable of doing that to you. You want to have 5 out of 5 pieces of the puzzle to make the whole piece of evidence. And so you don't walk away until things get too far. They get far enough that now you have all the things that you wanted in order to justify walking away. But you're kicking yourself because you're like, damn, I knew 2 months ago. I knew a year ago. Blah, blah, blah. That's what it's giving. It's a lot of reflection, I feel like. We don't have the Hermit here. But the way this Knight of Swords looks whenever he pops up in the reverse is he looks like he's falling back on his own sword. It's biting ourselves in the ass, shooting ourselves in the foot. The way it's sitting though with the let me just show this to you. So he looks like he's about to fall back on his own sword, right? But it looks like this Pegasus, if it were to fly in time, it could prevent that. It won't happen. So it's kind of like, I feel like the universe is sort of testing you in terms of your intuition and your perception. Can you take off the blindfold quick enough to get out of bad situations? Can you take off the blindfold quick enough to realize where you are aiding in your own abuse, mistreatment, da da da? Okay. That's the overall energy for the month of November. Let's go ahead and get into your oracle cards, and then we'll get into the specific portions of the month, okay? Just because I like pulling out the oracle cards to make the overall make more sense, kind of thing. Okay, so you have card number 2, Ancestors. I celebrate my lineage and honor my ancestors. So the card number 2 does make me think of Libra energy because it's a number of balance, and you guys are all about balance. It's a huge, huge theme with your sign. You're known for being very fair. Whatever part of your chart it's in, this is an area in your life in which you are super fair. The explanation that I'm thinking of, what's coming to mind between that overall explanation and that number 2 and the idea of fairness is people who have their Mars in Libra. So people who have their Mars in Libra, that is the sign of Mars fall. Like that is the sign that they do not do well in, and it's because those people will let so much go. They will let so much happen. They do not like to take action. They get really, really caught in the decision making process and the balancing, and they end up allowing a lot of things to happen to them and for a lot of opportunities to slip away because they're so afraid of making the wrong decision. I don't know if you have your Mars in Libra. I don't usually discuss anything outside of the big three too heavily when I do these readings, but that did come to mind. That might be something you need to look at in your chart. And if you see that you do have your Mars in Libra, you need to explore that and reflect on that and see if being really passive is an issue that you struggle with. With I celebrate my lineage and honor my ancestors, it is making me think a little bit of generational trauma. It is making me think about when we learn unhealthy coping mechanisms from our parents. Maybe you learned to be codependent from a parent. Maybe you learned to give far too many chances to people. Maybe I had something on my tongue and it flittered away. But yeah, so it's making me think of honoring your ancestors by undoing the patterns that have been continuing in your family for generations. And that could be part of what you're reflecting on, and it could be part of why you feel very trapped, because many people get caught up in this is what happened to me, this is why I am the way I am, and I will never ever tell you that you asked for the unhealthy thoughts you have. I will never tell you that you asked for the unhealthy coping mechanisms that you have. I will never, like, if you don't love yourself, I'm never going to say that you deserve that, anything like that. Things that happen to us as a child, we do not ask for. We don't ask for the families that we are born into. We do not ask for any of that. If you get into like karmic contracts, that's where that gets nuanced. But for the sake of this conversation, for the sake of your consciousness, you did not ask for any of that. It is not your fault. However, as adults, we have a responsibility to heal as much of the trauma as we can. You don't have to do it all at once. That's unreasonable. You do it over the course of your life. You notice something, you heal it. You go back out into the world. You notice something, you heal it. You go back out into the other world. It is especially our responsibility to do this work if we have not yet had children and we want to have them. Because if we do not do that work, that's just more of the trauma that we carry that we end up passing on to them unwittingly, honestly. So yeah, you definitely need to make sure that you take care of that trauma, that you deal with it, that you don't accidentally pass it on just because you don't know any other way to be. All right? The other thing, I keep looking at the tree. I keep looking at the tree in the back of this card. And this is a very bare tree. This is a very fall, winter looking tree. So you might find yourself spending more time in forests right now, getting some of Mama Earth's good energy and her good love. Or just spending that time in solitude and feeling the stillness of the forest. It's very healing because there is no other energy being imposed upon you, right? It's something that it's difficult to explain unless you've experienced it. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to move on to your answer scenario portion. Okay, we have I need self-care. I will start by what? Let's find out. Libra needs self-care, and they will start by, okay. So you got 2 cards here. Okay. I will start by gratitude. Having a gratitude mindset, a gratitude practice. I personally do my gratitude the very last thing I do before I consciously start falling asleep. When I'm laying in bed and I've done everything else, I do my gratitude. I think of 5 to 10 things that I am grateful for, more if they come to me naturally. And then I also try to think of the reason I am grateful for them. And I say those things out loud to myself. You don't have to say it out loud, you can say it in your head. And if you're new to the idea of a gratitude practice, you don't have to start with doing 5 to 10. You can start by doing 1 to 3, because it's like any other muscle. You can't just immediately go to the 50-pound weights. Yeah, you should probably start with the 10s or 15s. Okay? And then we also have learning, creating, or inventing something new. Being that you are Libra, you are the sign, so you're strongly associated with justice. You are also strongly associated with beauty. Libras love beauty. They love making themselves look as beautiful as possible. They love creating beauty. They love decorating. Many are rather artistic. So yeah, leaning more into that side of yourself. I'm actually imagining someone doing, like, redoing a wall in their living room to be like a gallery wall of art, or completely redecorating your bathroom. Like, I feel like that is what many of you are going to lean more towards, especially if you're spending some time on your own doing quieter, more meditative activities. Assist greatly with getting background thoughts and subconscious thoughts to come to the forefront. And that is one of the ways in which we achieve the work that we need to do, is finding ways to put ourselves into quiet meditative environments and do meditative activities that require very little thought. Because, like, planning the decorating is one thing, physically doing it's usually more meditative and intuitive. And in that space, so we can get more of the junk back here to come up here so we can deal with it. Okay? So let's go ahead and move on to your love and relationships. I keep feeling like there's going to be a song for me to point out, so I keep pausing and looking over, but nothing is quite hitting, if that makes sense. So love and relationships for Libra, please, for the month of October. For the month of November. So you could have something from October that carries over into November, especially if you've started a new relationship or ended one in October. Okay, so we have the Ace of Cups in reverse. 3 cards fell out, but this one fell over to the side. The other 2 fell together. So I'm going to read them that way. So we have the Ace of Cups in reverse. And then we have the 10 of Swords in the reverse. That's more Gemini energy coming out, with the 6 of Wands in the reverse. That is Leo energy. There is a lot of Gemini energy in your chart. Not in your reading. There's a lot of Gemini energy in your reading. There might be a lot in your chart. I don't know. You would have to take a look at it. I would say if there is Gemini, well, everyone has all the energy in their chart, so maybe Spirit wants you to take a look at that energy in particular for this month, see what planets you have there, what house it's in, what aspects you have, or maybe Spirit wants you to look at the Gemini portion of the reading. If that resonates, or the Gemini video. If that resonates, go do it. If it doesn't resonate, don't do it. Unless you really want to, I'm not going to complain. So the Ace of Cups in reverse does talk about the loss of a relationship or the breakdown of a relationship. I feel like for some of you, it's not a romantic relationship, it's a friendship. However, with the Ten of Swords in the reverse, coming out with the Six of Wands in the reverse, you're not dealing with the reality of it very well. You're really feeling it. Because Ten of Swords in the reverse is avoiding a painful ending. And the Six of Wands in reverse is failure, essentially. So either you are aware that there is something that you need to end, but you're having a hard time doing it. It is bringing me back to some of the things I said during your overall reading. That there is someone that you need to go ahead and end things with, and you might know it on an intuitive level, but not a physical one. There are some people that live their lives entirely from their intuitive body, and they're doing all right. If that is something you feel like you should do, you just feel weird justifying it, you don't have to justify yourself to anybody, honestly. So yeah, some of you, there is an ending that already occurred and you're just kind of not facing the reality of it. It's super painful for you. For others of you, there is an ending that needs to occur and you probably have to be the one to do it. I don't like being the person giving those kinds of messages. I just read what I see. So yeah, that is over there. So let's go ahead and take a look at your career and finances, because I feel like that hasn't been brought up in any capacity so far in your reading. It's all been a lot of mental energy and some intuitive energy here. So, career and finances for Libra, please. Career and finances, okay. This came out together too, but I'm just going to take them as. So we have the Three of Pentacles in the reverse, coming out with the Four of Pentacles in the up hand, both of which are Capricorn energy. So you're not really wanting to be part of a team right now. You're not really wanting to be part of a team right now. You're going to be feeling much more comfortable working independent of other people at this time. It could be because of all the other things that you're going through. If you have a lot of overlap between your personal life and your career life, it could be that, like just distancing yourself from people in general so you can better work out in your head the other things that are going on. For some of you with the Four of Pentacles in the reverse, you just kind of feel like you don't really have the energetic space for other people, I would say. I also don't see you spending a lot of time with other people. I don't really see you. I see you keeping a lot of your money close to your chest. You're just kind of keeping everything close to your chest this whole month. That's what I feel like. Your time, your energy, your opinions, your money. That could be too with the Knight of Swords in the reverse, really keeping your opinions to yourself. Maybe they've gotten you in trouble a few too many times. And that could be more what this is about. Yeah, especially because another thing that you could have learned from certain family dynamics is you could have learned the value of, I feel weird calling it a value. You could have learned to value social niceties and politeness, which can get you in trouble if you're not careful. caring what other people think, making sure the right people see you in certain lights. And it's not like, I'm not pointing it out to like judge. There is no judgment here. It literally, that used to be a convention that people used to really depend on. Back in older eras, like the Victorian era, for example, and eras even older than that, even in the 50s, outside opinion, public opinion, had a lot to do with your ability to survive your day to day. So I'm not judging it. No judgment. If that's something you learned you had to do to survive, I didn't go through that myself, but I understand it. But as you know, as an adult in a world that is constantly progressing, we do end up learning where that's not always the best way to go about things, and you could have gotten yourself into a lot of trouble, especially if there's a lot of overlap between your personal life and your career life or your financial life. That could have really gotten you into a lot of hot water. Okay, that's the one. The Seasons by Freedom Fry. That feels like something you need to listen to. What in the world is that? Give me 1 second. Okay, that was interesting. I don't believe in coincidences, so that was literally the sound of a package being dropped off at my house. And when I went outside to get it, I could hear a bird that making a clicking noise. I don't know a lot about bird calls, but yeah, so birds could be significant to you in terms of all of this. They could be a sign or a symbol. Um, I feel like spirit is really, because I was making the point earlier that maybe trying to be part of certain social groups has gotten you in trouble, especially if you have too much overlap. So it could be that spirit is trying to say that if you are, if you can manage to get that under control, there might be a gift for you by the end of the month. There might be a way in which the universe rewards you for learning what it is you need to learn about this and being careful about not repeating things that you hear. Okay? So let's go ahead and move on to your health and spirituality. Yeah, that took me out of flow a little bit. Sorry about that. So let's see what else we have here. Also, in your career and finances, a Capricorn or someone with Capricorn energy could be significant. That sign did come out on 2 of the cards. Okay, so we have the Seven of Cups in the reverse. That is Scorpio energy for your health and spirituality. This one's having a hard time coming out. You are not someone who usually likes to mess with your spirituality or mental health. Yep, we have the Devil in reverse. That's Capricorn energy, and it is card number 15 in the tarot. So isn't the new moon on the 14th or 15th? We have the 13th here and we have the 15th here. So maybe spirit wants you to go ahead and do something on the new moon to manifest a change. We can even manifest internal changes with the new moon, like help with those things. With the Seven of Cups in reverse here, especially coming out with the Devil in the reverse, I'm feeling like you are having a narrowing of choices and not necessarily in a bad way. The Devil is one of those cards that you actually want in the reverse. It usually means ending unhealthy cycles, it usually means ending toxic patterns. The Seven of Cups in reverse could be indicating that you are going away from being overwhelmed with choice to having less choice, that you are having an easier time figuring out the things that you need to do, having an easier time figuring out the path ahead of you and the options that you actually have. You could have felt like you didn't really know what to do with the situation that you had and you were just kind of constantly making the best of it. But yeah, that's what I see for you here. So the 13th through the 15th could be important. Geminis and Capricorns could be important. Gratitude practices, honoring your ancestors, and just figuring out how to navigate the use of your charm so that you are not still getting yourself in trouble and learning to listen to your intuition. Yeah. So go ahead and take a look at the other videos if you would like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you again soon. Be good, be safe, and love and light to you. Bye.